So we've learned about pollination and why it's important. Plants and pollinators are partners. But what is it about plants that make them so interesting to pollinators? Have you ever noticed the fantastic differences in the shape, color, and smell of flowers? Some flowers are bold and vibrant, while others are modest and drab. Some are shaped like trumpets, while others have a landing platform. Some are simple and open, while others have tricky, convoluted mazes. While people enjoy the beauty and fragrances of flowers, their real job of flowers is to ensure that plants produce offspring or seeds, which will in turn produce more plants. Let me introduce to you Flo Oxley, who's the Director of Plant Conservation at the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. Flo is here to show us this amazing garden. And as I said, we're here at the Wildflower Center, and everyone knows what a flower is, but Flo, what is a wildflower?
Tamberly, a wildflower is any plant that grows without the help of humans.
And can you define for us the difference between a plant and a native plant?
You bet. Native plants evolved over thousands of years in a particular area. They've adapted to the climate and to the habitat, the rainfall, and that's where their ancestors originated without the help of humans. Now, plants are often considered to be native in a particular region in the United States if they were here before the Europeans first arrived. Now, people often take their plants with them when they move because they're pretty, they're useful. Wheat, for example, which is a very important agricultural crop, is not native to the U.S. Native plants, however, function as hosts. They provide food, shelter, and habitat for the native wildlife in their home ecosystems. That's very, very important because plants and wildlife have interacted for millions and millions of years. Wildlife can actually recognize those native plants based on their usefulness to them. So pollinators and their plants function in a very mutually beneficial way. Wildlife, they really don't interact with non-native plants. They have no function in the new ecosystem other than taking up space, using soil, water, and nutrients that native plants might be using. Now, non-native plants can cause problems. They tend to choke out native plants and, worst of all, may not provide food or habitat for wildlife. Non-natives also have different flowering times, so the pollinators may not have pollen and sugars that they need. The timing is just a little bit off. Non-native plants also don't provide the colors, the sugars, and the aromas that attract those native pollinators.
Well, I know students out there understand that some animals are endangered, but what about plants?
Well, Tamberly, just like animals, a lot of plants are endangered due to habitat loss, those new plants and animals that are coming in to the region, and the big one now, climate change. And students in the audience probably know about plants that are endangered where they live. But don't forget, okay, a lot of animals are endangered because they're losing their habitat. And what forms habitat? Plants. But keep in mind, plants have to have certain kinds of habitat to survive too. Now, one obvious difference between plants and animals is that animals can move. They can just get up and move out of a place. And that's why, and plants can't. And that's why pollinators are so important. They give plants a way to move.
So that helps us to come back to that really important partnership between plants and pollinators.